Okay, good morning, everyone. I hope everyone had a good weekend, as I did. Um, and I wasn't planning on coming on this morning, um, but I was compelled to. And I'm just going on and I'm going to share um, the. I'm going to share the. Hey, Deborah. I don't know why it won't let me edit while I'm live. I guess I can't, but I just added in the comments. Um, I just added in the comments. I'm going to stay on that page. Okay. I just added in the comments a link where you can join the conversation if you're so inclined. Um, and I'm going to just close this tab here. Okay. All right. So yeah, I just shared that in the comments. As you can see here, if you can go to the comments on my page, you can drop into the green room and you can join the conversation. Um, but if you want to wait until you know what the conversation is about, we may want to do that. So, so before I get started on what I wanted to talk about, which was my restaurant experience last night, we went into the city yesterday. Holly, Lindsay, and myself. Lindsay, my daughter, our daughter, and we went to the Louis Vuitton. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Exhibit at the American Stock Exchange. Lindsay's boyfriend Elliot worked on putting that whole exhibit together, and so we went to see it, and it was very interesting. And I was more interested in how it was set up and laid out and what they used for their exhibits. And um, so being in New York is just a kind of, just always a unique experience. I've lived here all my life, yet, just never ceases to amaze and amuse. So I posted this yesterday, um, but we were on the PATH train going into the city, and this guy got on the train in Journal Square, and with a whole lot of style and not a care in the world, headed in from Journal Square into New York to do some hanging out or some pimping. I don't know what he was doing, but man, that was just quite an outfit. Just quite an outfit. And it was good. So we had a lot of fun um, over the weekend in the city. Deborah had a good weekend as well. Amazing, not just a good weekend, an amazing weekend. So we came back last night from the city, and we went to one of our favorite restaurants in town, and there were a number of things going on, and I was kind of like taking it all in and processing it, and because I knew I wanted to discuss it, because some of the issues may be sensitive, not sensitive really, but may annoy people or not. But so we went to this restaurant and it was about 6:30, right? So it's a dinner hour on Sunday. And um, so we go to dinner, there's four of us, and the restaurant's packed. Okay. We didn't have to wait. Well, actually, Lindsay and Elliot were there before us. So there was no wait at that moment. So got a table. So in the restaurant, and the restaurant is not a small restaurant, but it's not a huge restaurant. And there is no private room area or anything. So it's one, kind of L-shaped room. And there was a birthday party going on, okay, that took up 3 long tables, really long tables. So there were probably, I'm going to say there were probably at least 12 to 15 people at each table. Okay. And they were at one end of the room. Okay. And then there was another party that was in the other end of the restaurant, at kind of the top of the L. So the restaurant was busy and all the tables were full. And we were at a 4 top, and next to us was a table of 6 with 2 kids and 4 adults. And one of the observations that I've made recently, and I'm sure many of you have made the same observation, is that, and many of you may be parents of children in this age bracket, and that's who I'd be most interested in hearing from about this. So, obviously everyone has a compulsion, a lot of people have a compulsion to be on their devices, electronics. But what I see is this incredible proliferation of children, especially at restaurants, being on their devices, and most of the kids I'm talking about are, toddlers to youngsters, right? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11-year-olds, right? And they have either phones or iPads or tablets of some kind, and they're being entertained by these devices. And the kid who was sitting just to my left at the table behind us, is watching some kind of program on his device, and with the volume loud enough for me to be able to hear it at my table in a restaurant that was noisy. Now, you may say, what the hell's the difference at this point? Because, it's already noisy in the restaurant, right? So who gives a shit if this kid's playing his device loud enough for me to hear it? It's just more noise, right? What's the difference if this kid were talking to somebody or, interacting with this device, right? But my contention is that it is different, right? It is different when you're sitting in a restaurant. Now, what if this were a quieter restaurant? Okay, and now the child or children, depending on how many people at the table, are watching a movie or playing a game. That I've had that experience as well. They're playing a game and hearing all the noise, the sound effects, right? And is that okay? Is that okay for parents to allow their children's entertainment to spill over into other people's space? My thought is no. Right. I was always very conscious of what my children were doing in a restaurant, and I'm still conscious of it. I was with my daughter last night and her boyfriend. So I'm very conscious, right? So yes, the social commentary of that interaction at the table, right? Shouldn't they be interacting? Is the tablet being entertained by the tablet and the phone? Is that any different than when my children, who are now 23 and 21, was it any different for us? Is it the same distraction to sit them down and take out a coloring book and plop down, a container of crayons, right? And something to draw. Now, I don't know if that's even still done. I don't know if that's even still done in restaurants where you go in and they give the kid a coloring book or placemat or something with a pack of crayons. I don't even know if that happens anymore, because they're in that mode of those tablets and everything. So, so my thought is, if you're going to do that, I shouldn't have to be impacted on your children's entertainment. But better yet, what I'd like to see is maybe a conversation with those children, or even some coloring. I got to believe that, coloring sometimes is a better choice than just the tablets. But I saw it, even yesterday on the train, on the PATH train, there was a young boy across the way from me who, demanded the tablet from his mother, so that he could, play on the train. The movement of the train and the noise and what's going on out the windows wasn't enough stimulation. Needed that tablet. So that was the kind of the primary thing that set me off. But here's the thing. So now my question is, should a restaurant, take over, from their regular customers, right? So here it is. Should they take up all of these tables to do a private event, or not a private event, but a organized event, a birthday party? Should they take over a portion of their restaurant? And now the line was really big. People were waiting because all of these tables weren't turning over. Which leads me to my second thought. What do? You're in a restaurant, and you clearly see people waiting at the door, right? They're lined up, they're waiting at the door. Do you change your eating pattern at all while you are in the restaurant? Do you linger less? If you're kind of done, and where normally you would just kind of hang out, maybe have that second cup of coffee, you're finishing your wine or whatever, are you in that same mode, or are you aware of what's going on around you with other people? Are you respectful of other people who are waiting there for you? Will you get up quicker? I am aware of that, and I will be mindful of that, and will not overly linger, at a restaurant if I see people are waiting. But that table with the kids that was next to us, they were lingering, and they had 6. But the restaurant has to take some responsibility, because here they've taken up 30 seats, which they could have probably turned over twice in the time that all of those people were there, right? They could have turned those tables twice, I guarantee it, last night, But they chose to do that. I guess, that's up to the restaurant. But here's my last thing. And really, proper etiquette is not just about the kids, It's also about the adults. So the 3 tables that had this party going on, 2 men decided to stand up instead of sitting at the table, because they've been sitting for a while. So they stood between our table and the other table behind them, that was not from their group, but a different group, and proceeded to have a conversation that lasted 12, 13 minutes, standing there having a conversation right next to our table, standing, where I'm looking at this guy standing behind my daughter while I'm eating. He's standing there having a conversation, looking right at me, and did it for close to 15 minutes, right? Didn't care that we were trying to dine, just stood there, So it's not just the kids. So is there restaurant etiquette? Is there a way for you to act properly in a restaurant. And I'm not just talking about a child reacting, having a meltdown, and you letting them just sit there and scream in the restaurant. Okay, we've all experienced that. I even had a family member do that many years ago, where his son went nuts in the restaurant and just sat there with him. Didn't take him out, didn't react, didn't do anything. Just sat there and continued dinner. And, I was flipping out, you know. But so, restaurant etiquette. How do you act in a restaurant? And beyond just the obvious, right? And does the restaurant take some responsibility? Should the server have been more aware of when a child is using a device and that device is emitting noise and a sound? Okay, is that okay? All right, and adults do it too, right? Like, do you have your phone set that when you type that it clicks every letter? Click, 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 click. Well, guess what? Everyone who's around you can hear that clicking. Click, 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 click. Okay, the woman next to me on the PAT train yesterday, as we were in the station, kept getting a FaceTime request. Okay, and her phone is ringing with the FaceTime request, audibly ringing with the Facebook request, with the FaceTime request. And all she had to do was hit decline, and it would have stopped the call, or flip that little switch on the side of the phone and silence it. Look at that. There's a little switch there. Boom. When you press it, it stops making noise. So we're in a whole new world of things and people and etiquette, but some things, shouldn't change. So feel free to discuss in the comments your, I guess, pet peeves, Facebook etiquette, restaurant etiquette tips, and how you feel about how families now dine out and how distracted, not entertained, but distracted the kids are with the electronics. That's it. That's my restaurant rant for the day. Let's see if there's any more. Deborah. Oh, Deborah's never been to New York. And when you come, you let us know. And we will make sure that you visit all the right places, tourist spots and not. Okay, so that'll do it for me for this live. Here using the new Be Live, where I can see the comment count and reactions right in front of me. So until next time, that'll do it for me. Have a great day.